one of the things Brian has asked girls, he goes like, okay, so what kind of guys do you like, right? Girls like tall guys, ideally make a decent amount of money. Oftentimes, like Deborah said, it's above 6 foot tall, right? And if you look up the female delusion calculator and you look at the amount of dudes that are above 6 feet tall that make, you know, $90,000 a year or up, it's like less than 1% of the population, okay? So you have women saying, hey, this is what I want. 99% of men do not fit that standard, okay? And so you say, well, it's the below average guys that, you know, they can't get laid. Literally 99% of men do not fit in the average woman's standards for what they want in a partner. Do you see the problem?
Do women create a culture of podcasting and memes ridiculing men who are under 6 feet tall?
Yes.
Do I tell a 5'10" guy is low value?
Yes.
In retaliation.
Call her daddy.
I don't want that.
Call her daddy. The biggest podcast in the world.
$50 million.
I'm just saying I have yet to see a blue pill podcast.
No, it's not blue pill podcast because no. There's all these things. What do you call a guy who's 5'11"? A friend? You haven't seen this meme?
Watch anything by Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh.
Absolutely.
You'll see a blue pill podcast.
They crucify men. And they actually show, when you look at dating apps, they show Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. They show a distribution of what women find attractive, and 6'3" is actually the prime number. Once you get above 6'3", 6'6", it actually starts to drop. At 6 feet tall, you're still really high. It goes 6 feet, and at 5'11", it plummets. This doesn't happen in Europe because they use the metric system. But in the United States, at 5'11", it plummets. Yes, men do get ridiculed for being short. Yes, they do.
That's not being ridiculed.
Yeah,
they're not being chosen selectively, and they're being made fun of for being short. I hear women all the time. I listen to women talk all the time, and one of the main complaints is he's a great guy, but he's too short. So women are
not ridicule.
Yeah, no.
That's literally in that instance preference.
No, listen.
The original point you made was about a double standard, and the thing is, let's bring up one more part about this double standard. For me, being afraid to be with a woman who's been with 80 guys, there's actual studies that show, from an evolutionary standpoint, Institute for Family Studies, the study he just brought up, there's actual studies that show that could be deleterious for my relationship. For you to choose a man who's under 6 feet tall, some of the best fighters on the planet are under 6 feet tall. Some of the baddest Marines and Navy SEALs on earth are under 6 feet tall. Probably most of them. And so the point is, where you're provisioning, the reason why women prefer tall men is for protection. The protection paradigm doesn't fit anymore in 2023 because a guy who's 5'6" can buy a Glock. It's a different world now. So what we have to believe, as far as our prejudice against a woman with a high body count, still is effective. It's still an effective protection for us in 2023, but women choosing taller men is actually irrational. It's actually irrational. Jeff Bezos, it's actually irrational for you to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the reason why, for our preference, both of these preferences are based in evolution. But our preference actually still makes sense. Whereas the preference for tall men actually, and I'm saying this as a guy who's 6'2", the preference for tall men actually doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't.
You said that's a philosophy, right?
I didn't say it's a philosophy because of plurality. I said it's a philosophy because it's usually tied to the idea that, like, this is what's better for society. The downfall of Western society is because of female promiscuity. That's usually what gets conflated in with this idea with low body count.
Well, I mean, you're taking it in an interesting direction. Would it also be a philosophy then to say that if a woman were to say, generally speaking, women prefer men who are tall, is that a philosophy, or is that just an acknowledgement of
it's a philosophy if they talk about it in a reciprocal way to the way they just did. So if I were to say tall men are objectively better, and if I was like a tall man supremacist because I said, you know, short men are less than, tall men are what we need for protection, but usually women aren't even necessarily thinking about protection. Like he was saying, it's kind of a false equivalency at this point.
They are still attracted to
those
men. They are,
but he was asking what delineates between the preference and the philosophy, so that was my answer.
Short, attractive guy, or tall, ugly guy? Which one are you picking?
I'm gonna go tall.
Why tall?
Short kings are not it.
But he's attractive. You're gonna fuck a tall, ugly guy? You gotta walk in public with this tall, ugly man.
What if I walk in public with a short guy? That's even more embarrassing.
But what if he's like Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise, no.
Tom Cruise is like 5'8", probably the most attractive guy in America.
I honestly don't know what Tom Cruise looks like.
The culture out here.
Minimum height.
6 feet.
Yeah, that's where they get you. Would you exclude obesity?
Absolutely.
Minimum income. So
I'm gonna say at least 200.
200 grand?
You can be 30 years old and make 200
Oh my goodness. Take a guess at what percentage of men fit this
2%.
criteria. 2%? Much lower. It's 0.049%.
All right, is this going on the TV?
How short is too short?
I'm 5'8", so I would say like 5'5". I don't want to be like towering over somebody.
How short is too short?
For a guy,
Obviously.
I'm gonna say 5'6". I can work with 5'7". I'm 5'2", and so if I need to wear heels, I don't want to be taller.
How short is too short?
5'8",
How tall are you?
5'4".
I'm 5'8".
I'm wearing heels though, so I'm a little bit taller.
You're still shorter though.
Yeah, so we're like the same height right now.
How short is too short?
Basically, if you're under 6 foot, I don't want to talk to you.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
How short is too short?
I'm 5'6", so honestly, if they're 5'6", I think that's too short.
How short is too short?
Anything within like the 5 range. I'm like 5'6". I don't want my boyfriend being like the same height as me. I mean, my boyfriend's 6'5".
How short is too short?
Anything under 6 foot.
How short is too short?
5'10", but I'd prefer like 5'11", 6 foot. But I just want someone like a little taller than me.
How short is too short?
5'5", because I'm 5'6".
What if you're wearing heels?
And they're shorter than me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm fine with it, because like, power move.
I asked women to explain to me why height matters in a relationship. My only rule is that you guys had to stay body positive, and I got over 10,000 comments and almost 1,000 stitches of women explaining why height matters in a relationship. A lot of women explain that they want a man to be taller so they can feel feminine. They want to feel protected. They want to feel security. A lot of women explain that they're taller themselves and they've been told by shorter men that they're too tall and they want a man that's bigger so they can feel more feminine. I don't want to tell this story. This is a really hard story to tell, but I feel like it's 100% necessary because it's the reason I made the video in the first place. I had this friend. He was 5'4", extremely athletic, charming, kindest guy ever, super competitive, the nicest man, extremely attractive, really good dancer, life of the party. And a year before he took his own life, he opened up to me one night and he explained to me that he'd been suffering in silence and he was extremely depressed because his entire life he had been ridiculed and he had been picked on because of his stature. And he told me what hurts the most out of everything that he had ever been through is how women would never take him seriously because of his height. He'd start talking to a girl, and what's the question they always ask, gentlemen, every time you start talking to a girl? How tall are you? He never made it past that point. And when he did make it past that point, because the question was never asked or he never gave that information, he was told to his face every single time, even when they started dating for a little bit or whatever, that they could never be together because he was too short. Can't imagine what it was like to live in his shoes, and we talked about it more and more, and everyone tried to encourage him, but he got into alcohol, it spiraled out of control, he got severely depressed, and he ended up taking his own life. Every time I see comments where it's like, but how tall are you? Or I'm talking to a girl and they're like, how tall are you? I think of him every single time. And I'm watching all these videos of all these women just explaining happily, carefree, why it's okay to just turn a man away because of his height. And furthermore, explain to that man that he's not tall enough, that he's not adequate enough. I know a lot of men that struggle with this, and it is not okay. To wear heels? Some of these answers were atrocious. Can you imagine missing out on a person because of your shoes? Because he can reach things for me. It's called a step stool. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form to turn someone away, to reject somebody, to tell someone that you do not want to be with them for something that is out of their control, for their physical features. That is cruel. I get everybody has preferences and that's fine, but asking a girl how tall she is or asking a man how tall he is and then rejecting them before you even get a chance to know them, can you imagine the mental toll that takes on someone? It goes both ways, gentlemen. You ladies are way too comfortable asking guys how tall they are and turning them away, and you do not understand the mental strain and the toll it is taking on them. It's something I've never had to deal with. It's something that I've never been insecure about, but you guys need to chill out for real. You need to think about this. I've never told a girl how tall I am when they've asked, and every time a girl has, I've said the same answer every single time, 5'4". I'll need to do better, and this wasn't, but follow me. I'm pretty funny.
Would you date a plus size girl? No? Why?
It's just not appealing to the eyes. Plus, I'm a kinesiology major, so it's like I hit the gym every day, run every day, and it's like, and especially for me, I don't know for other people, but since like activity is my lifestyle, I'm gonna need to keep up with me, honestly speaking. I don't want to go into the science of it, but there is ways to lose the weight, but find a way. There's always a way.
She's, oh,
thin.
She's what? I've
I
seen her.
will knock you the fuck out. That's the dumbest stuff that you've ever said.
What did he say? I don't know what he said.
That she's thinner.
On the
That's
body.
dumb. I'm the wrong person.
I didn't say you were fat though.
That's besides the point. What a mad thing to say.
Oh. Yo, this went left real quick.
Sorry. Anything that you said, that wild. You said because she's skinnier, you would f her.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Y'all heard it.